And so the question we then have to ask ourselves is, what is the syllabus structure? What is the exam structure like? So let's come to the syllabus for management accounting and our examination. Yes, we'll be having 5 questions coming in the exam hall as always for 3 hours, 15 minutes reading time in the exam hall that the examiner is going to be bringing to us that we need to be mindful of. But the first thing you must understand is that we were going to be having theories in the exam hall. Last semester, July 2026, the theory questions represented 37%. All right. So there are a lot of theories in management accounting. And the exam is going to be some theories, some calculation. And so if the examiner is going to be coming in with theories like this, then it means that you have to be able to prepare yourself to read thoroughly and do calculations alongside. So last semester, July 2026, 37% of the questions were theory. The whole of question 1, theory, 20 marks. Then the rest of the theories were spread across in the other questions. So the question you want to ask yourself is, will you be able to study and put yourself in the position to go? There are some examination dates where we've seen 47% of the questions being theory. Other examination dates, 20%, 25%. But the assurance here is that we're going to be having upwards of 20% of the questions being written questions cutting across various aspects of the syllabus. So as you are learning, don't just be glued to the calculations. As you are, whatever calculation you are learning, the theory aspect is important. Even the calculation process under each topic, the examiner can access as a theory-related question in the exam hall. What does that mean? It means that you have to be attentive. You have to be present. You have to be taking notes. You have to really put yourself in the position so you can study in the manner required to assure you that you pass the examination. And so what are the key areas of the syllabus? Performance measurements. This is question 1 in the exam hall. 20 marks. Sometimes the examiner can do 15 on that, but performance measurement, 20 marks in the exam hall. This is going to be covering a lot of issues, and we'll come back to this later, like ratio analysis, balance scorecard, transfer pricing, divisionalization, return on investment, EVA, like those various issues under organizational performance measurement. Okay, so how do we measure the performance of companies as a whole? How do we measure performance of divisions in a company and measure the performance of divisional heads in a company? Then non-for-profit making organizations, how do we measure their performance? That is also going to be there. So that's a 20 marks area, quite significant topic. Question 1 waiting for you in the exam hall. The second key area is short-term decisions. This is going to be question 5, mostly in the exam hall. Question 5, short-term decisions. It's 20%, but sometimes the examiner can do 15 as well. And there are a lot of short-term decisions, I have to tell you. A lot. But one of them or two of them, if the examiner get goosebumps, will be coming in the exam hall. Like limiting factor analysis, break-even analysis, relevant cost analysis, pricing decision, throughput accounting, ratio, shutdown decision, make or buy. We're going to get into all of these later as we proceed in the discussion, but these are all short-term decisions. And so that we are going to be applying the marginal costing principle in making these short-term decisions, and we'll come back to this in a moment as we proceed in the discussion. So limiting factor analysis, break-even analysis, relevant cost analysis, pricing decision, make or buy, shutdown, throughput accounting ratio, and then specialized decisions or transactions that the management accountant help businesses to make at the end of the day. So that's short-term decisions, question 5, that we have to be mindful of, 20% or 15, depending on how excited the examiner is. Then we come to budgeting and budgetary control because, hey, the management accountant helps the organization in preparing budgets. I mean, it's one of the fundamental roles of the management accountant. This is 15% of the syllabus. and sometimes buried in question 3 or question 2. Okay, question 3 or question 2, depending on where the examiner is. And here we are going to be looking at methods of preparing budget, like incremental budget method, zero-based budgeting, rolling budgeting, participatory budget, non-participatory budget, program-based budgeting. All these are methods of budgeting. Then you come to the preparation of the functional budget. So how do we prepare the sales budget, the production budget, the material purchases budget, the material usage budget, the labor cost budget, the labor usage budget? All of those functional budgets, we will be asked, or we must know how to prepare them. Then we come to the master budget. Now, the functional budget represents the budget of the various departments or key functions within the organization, whilst the master budget represents the budget of the entity as a whole. So the master budget has 3 components. That is the cash budget, the budgeted income statement, and the budgeted statement of financial position. So these 3 make up the master budget. Then certainly some behavioral aspect of budgeting that the examiner can ask us about that we need to be mindful of. So 15%, there are a lot of theories here in budgeting that you have to also be aware of, sometimes in question 2, sometimes in question 3 in the exam hall. But that is budgeting, 15% waiting for us in the exam hall. Now, we have seen sometime in the per the examiner's discretion, sometimes students go to the exam and under budgeting, there is only a 5-mark question or a 7 marks question in the exam hall. It depends on how excited the examiner is. Nonetheless, it's a significant portion of the syllabus that you have to be mindful of. Please note, the reason I'm doing this breakdown is to let you understand the scope of the syllabus, the examination, and most importantly, help you to prepare your study plan, to help you plan yourself out as you are going to be doing some self-studies as you proceed in the discussion. Then the next one is standard costing and variance analysis. And so this is also going to be either question 3, because like I said, the budgeting and standard costing, sometimes you can find them in question 2, question 3, or question 3, question 2. So the positioning is not fixed like the performance measurement and short-term decision. But that is going to be there that you must be mindful of. Variance analysis, a lot of things. So we're going to be calculating various variances, because if an entity plans that it will spend $5 to produce this particular remote here, so the entity plans that it will produce this remote at $5 per unit, then at the end of the period, the entity ends up spending maybe $7.5 per unit to produce the remote. The question we need to ask ourselves is, why is that? That's an adverse variance, right? Because we wanted to spend $5 to produce the remote, but we ended up spending $7.5. So we have exceeded our plan, our budget, our expectation by $2.5. That's an adverse variance. Okay, why did that happen? Who caused that? How do we resolve that going into the future? So those issues about setting standards, recording the actual results, and then giving out the reasons for the variances and the various measures that management can put in place are important for organizational success. And so we're going to be looking at calculation of variances, interpretation of the variance, and then some various variance ratios that you have to be mindful of. A 15 marks area waiting for us in the exam hall that we need to understand. Then we come to contemporary approaches. Usually this is going to be in question 2B or question 3B or question 3B. So contemporary approaches. It's purely theory issues. Purely theory, 15%. So quite a number of the theories you're going to be seeing in the exam or sometimes comes from this particular area, contemporary issues. This is where you're going to be looking at ethics. Yes, in management accounting, we have ethics here. And it's the same as the ethics, if you have done ethics in other subjects. So objectivity, professional competence and due care, professional behavior, integrity, confidentiality, and the various issues. The same idea here in management accounting. Then some other models of evaluation like benchmarking, business process reengineering, just-in-time system, total quality management, environmental cost accounting, and those other issues that you must understand. And so what you are going to be doing is that you are going to be going ahead of me to start reading some of these theories. Okay. I will come back to them later on. Okay. Maybe during our revision week to talk to you about them, these theory issues. But as you are studying, you commit time, you prepare your study plan, you have to be reading these along. We have the key summary videos on each of them in the mobile application under the key summary videos that you can access. Okay, so if you don't like reading, then you can watch the video to listen to them. The reason why I'm telling you that is because time will not permit us to cover everything thoroughly. So you can start reading some of these models of evaluation issues ahead of me, because I'm going to come back to them during our revision session, and I may not cover everything there thoroughly. But there are theory issues that you have to be mindful of. Then the last part, this is question 4A, 15 marks. Question 4A is management accounting in the public sector. So yes, the management accountant's role in the public sector is also important, right? Because everything we do in the private sector, everything we've spoken about under short-term decisions, budgeting, standard costing and variance analysis, and everything else that the management accountant does in the private sector, it's also valid in the public sector. So in the public sector, how relevant is the management accountant's role? That is what is covered here. And we're going to be looking at project appraisal. So how do we appraise projects in the public sector? Now, if you have done financial management or you did some investment appraisal issues in some finance class, you would have known that projects can be appraised using net present value, accounting rate of return, internal rate of return, payback period, discounted payback period. You know those methods. But in the public sector, there are other methods that we use, like the cost-benefit analysis, benefits to cost ratio, cost effectiveness analysis, cost outcome analysis, and some other methods that are exclusively used in the public sector to appraise projects. We need to be mindful of those methods. Then there are specialized or short-term decisions that are made in the public sector by public sector organizations. How do we assist these organizations to be able to make the decisions that they have to make in order to optimize profitability or returns of the organization? These are the things that you must understand about the syllabus breakdown and the examination structure of management accounting. Now, in that contemporary issue area, there are some IT issues there that you have to be mindful of. Yes, because technology is an important thing. One thing you must understand is that the syllabus now has some themes that you have to be mindful of. The theme of ethics, the theme of public sector issues. That's why you see public sector here. The theme of information technology. That's why you are seeing it here as well in the discussion. So there are some IT issues there that you need to be mindful of. And we're going to be looking at some of these as we proceed. Then certainly the issue about sustainability. Yes, there are sustainability issues still under the contemporary approaches that you have to be mindful of, like the environmental costing that I spoke about. That will be escalated a little bit to bring in sustainability, because in this day and age, the objective of the business is not just to maximize the wealth of the shareholders, but it is to run or have an organization that is socially and environmentally responsible. And so how can an organization design its operations in such a way that it obtains resources but doesn't affect the next generation's ability to have access to a safe world or safe environment? So sustainability is an important issue that we must understand when it comes to talking about management accounting. So this is the scope of the management accounting syllabus and the key issues that we must understand. So you will realize that it appears that it's not a lot, right? Just 6 topics. Okay, 6 broad topics. But the 6 broad topics have a lot of babies under them. That's the most interesting aspect. The 6 broad topics have a lot of babies under them. And we have the key summary videos covering all of these topical issues that I've spoken to you about in the mobile application. And so if you want to study ahead of us, you want to cover some topics as I've encouraged you to do, just go under the key summary videos, learn the principles. Then you can solve some questions available in the book, as well as get access to the practice question course and get access to a lot of questions in respect of that. So you have to work hard. Time will not permit us to thoroughly cover everything in the syllabus, but we are going to be covering upward of 90% of the syllabus. Just that, as I said, time will not permit us to cover everything. And it is for this reason why you have to be mindful and make some time to study on your own as well. So if you learned something from this video, remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share the video so that others can also see this. Most importantly, let me hear from you if there are any questions you have, or if you have any topic that you would want me to cover on the next episode, leave it in the comment section. I want to read from you. If you want to enroll as well in our courses to study under my mentorship for your ICA, ACCA, SEMA, or ICAG examination, you can head on to our website, NhyiraPremium.com, or download the Nhyira Premium mobile application on the Google Play Store or the App Store to complete your enrollment. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp or call us 050-114-9296. 050-114-9296. Complete your enrollment today to join our community. Let me hold your hand, provide you with the blueprints that you need with the team here. Let us assist you. This is our mission. This is what we do. This is what we are called for. And we have the resources, the skills, the expertise needed to help you to pass the examination. So visit our website, NhyiraPremium.com, to read more about us. Or better still, download the Nhyira Premium mobile application on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. You want to get personal? Hit us with a DM or send us a message on WhatsApp, 050-114-9296. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.